What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about the first title update officially on September 2nd, 2021 that EA Sports has released. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that we were looking for wasn't addressed, mainly the zone coverages. The RPO peak glitch. Now when a guy keeps the ball with their quarterback, the players respond better. I've actually seen that, so that glitch is pretty much like, you can still do it out of certain RPO peaks, but it's not as prevalent as it once was. One of the major things that I know a lot of you guys are furious about, other than a lot of the delays with Weekend League rewards, the content, and everything else that's going on with the game is, you guys feel like they're not really, taking the feedback seriously, right? I understand that situation, and I felt that way for a very, very long time. It's just that Madden 22 has been a little bit more ridiculous with it. It's sort of like a lot of the things, like now we have our icons back. So if you do quick adjustments for defense, that's a beautiful thing. But it's sort of like, why wasn't that already in the game? And I understand that. And, like I said, for the most part, I don't even really care about the way the game is actually playing right now, because I just, I know what's going to happen with the actual patch that's going to address some of the things that we want fixed. It's not just going to, be focused on that. Other things are going to happen. So what I mean by that is, you're going to get a lot more ridiculousness within the game because the patches don't generally do what they're supposed to do in most cases. Like right now, I believe that within the next day or so, you're going to see more stuff going on with the game. It's just something that happens, and it happens a lot because of the continuous patches that go with the game, and there's a lot of feedback that EA takes that realistically they probably shouldn't listen to. Like, some of the stuff should just be what it is. If a dude is screaming at you, you shouldn't have nano detection. You should have to, block other people. You should have to do things and learn, assignments, ID the mic. You should be able to understand and utilize those things for next level type Madden. The issue is, which a lot of you guys that have been playing Madden for a while, we believe that they dumbed down the game for people that don't really know how to play it. And that creates their fan base. And that's what keeps the money rolling in, because most people, right? Let's say, for instance, I played a game earlier today on YouTube when I was live streaming, right? And a guy came out just throwing streaks. There was nothing I can do about it. He just kept throwing streaks. I played cover 4, cover 3. I changed my inside, my third to an inside. I did everything that I had to do, right? And there was no responsiveness to what was going on. So this guy was able to do that all game, and I had to realize I have to play man coverage, right? So what does that force us to do now? We have to now look at alternative motives to try to figure out how to play a game that these things should be relevant and predicated on what we use these attributes for. So look, I got an 89 zone Jalen Ramsey, right? I got, I got the other guy, Eddie Jackson. I'm just showing you guys what was out there, right? And with this zone coverage, which they tell us that it means something. So the 89 zone coverage is right before the tier of the final tier. Well, not the final tier, because it goes 90 then 95. But it's almost done. Like, you almost got a maxed out zone guy, right? You put him on an inside third, he's going to play outside or inside and just stay away from the streak. He'll, out of bunch, out of, they have a special formation out of like a double close, where if you just streak the guy, everybody runs away from him. Now, you can play the sticks out of a cover 4 and the guys go straight back. But what it does is it manipulates the match concept, so now they don't match. They just go to the flats. And it's like really, really weird. But a lot of the things, if you don't understand the concepts that I'm saying, it's a little bit more like advanced with Madden, where you look at these adjustments. Because before they added all these extra zones, it was a lot more, it was a lot more of a skill gap. Because you had to figure out and have a decent user what was going on, and you couldn't just do whatever you wanted. They've added a lot of things to the game, and in doing that, they have to make sure all these moving parts are working. So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, all right, I read through the Gridiron notes, and I'm like, you know what? And also, that's available on EA.com. You guys can check that out if you want to read the notes yourself. And I'm like, yo, where's the zones thing? So a lot of what they said about the patch that just came out is that these things were planned in advance. So it was things that they knew about early on. From the first day that anyone played this game, whether, like as soon as it was like EA Play, there was a problem with the zone since then. So for me, I can't buy that part about, oh yeah, it's all about the stuff that we had. It was previously planned and stuff like that. They knew about the zones. The problem is, I believe that once they fix it, it's going to throw something else off. Because realistically, right, let's say, for instance, I put mid-zone on Eddie Jackson, and he lights up like a Christmas tree. It doesn't really matter because he won't play where he's supposed to play. So although he gets it for 1 and it's like 1,000 coins or whatever, if it worked, I have no issue. I have no issue utilizing it. The problem is the street concept is just broken. Fun fact though, for Madden 21 Next Gen, the same exact zones that we're playing now that don't work, it worked for Madden 21 Next Gen, which is kind of weird. Like, I'm trying to figure out for myself, and that's why I tell you guys, you can't really expect a lot of it. A lot of us are just Madden heads and we just want to play the game, and MUT is so fun. And the big part about it is actually playing the MUT content and building up your team. Like, this is very exciting. Like, I have a 49er theme team, 25 or 25, and I'm looking forward to other stuff. And it gets you engaged within the game. But this part about when you build your team and then you go onto the field and nobody does anything that they're supposed to do, it becomes very, very frustrating. So I understand why you guys are raging. For instance, with the way that the blitz works and everything, like I was talking about with nano detection, right? They implemented nano detection because they don't believe that if you blitz 8 and somebody's blocking 5, that your 8 should, the 2 guys should come in. It's like really, really weird. So you get slowed down, or you take a wrong angle, or sometimes you outright just don't rush. It's like very, very ridiculous. So it becomes a situation now where you're spending your money or whatever you're doing to get these cards, and then they don't do what they're supposed to do because of a defect where they don't want players to have to experience the real pass rush. So all of that stuff that they're addressing, like even with the pancake blocks, if you come out onto the field with 8 DBs, it should be Pancake City. It should be IHOP. I don't care about any complaints. I don't care about anybody saying whatever. That's what it is, because these linemen are big boys. And those little skinny DBs are not doing nothing with them. Now, if you got safeties out there, you got like a Taylor Mays, big dudes, even Bob Sanders was a stud. You got big safeties out there, Sean Taylor. Maybe you might get to shed a block every now and again, but for the most part, you should be pancake blocked. Funny thing about that also, in Madden 18, that was a thing, and then they patched it out of the game because people were complaining about it. So what I'm trying to explain right now, and what's going to be an ongoing issue, which is very, very clear, is that the community feedback that EA gets, whether it's a pro player or it's somebody that doesn't even know what Madden is, they listen to it. The bottom line, though, is a pro player is going to do what's in favor for them, and the average Joe is going to want to do what's in favor for them. There is no medium. That's why most of the time when you watch competitive Madden, and when I say most, it's probably like 99% of the time, you're going to see nickel 3-5 wide, and you're going to see bunch. Because those things just work with the current concept of the game. Bunch was never really that prevalent back in the day because defense actually worked. So you couldn't just come out with your bunch side and think it was sweet. Dudes would be out there, they'd be handling their business, and you would have the right coverages with just a cloud, a purple, and basic zones. Now that it's become more complex, it's taken over Madden. And it's something to where everybody finds it easier to use. So that meta is going to be there as long as they keep the game along the same lines, because the reaction, the zone, whether it's an RPO peak, your icons not being there, these things should not be part of a day one patch because they weren't a part of the previous game. Like, they already figured it out for next gen. All that was working on Madden 21 next gen. So if it's something new, we'll be like, all right, cool. Yo, Gmia, all right, we got it. But it's stuff that we consider basic. So it's not fixed right now. And I want you guys to understand, you're probably going to have to run a lot of man-to-man coverage. That's the safest way to actually play the game, because if you don't play man-to-man coverage, you're going to lose a lot of games. Because the zones are going to run away usually from the player that they're supposed to be defending, and they're just going to leave them wide open. And that's it. So you're going to have to go make or break with man coverage. Now, the man-to-man archetypes, they do have one step ahead. They do have deep route KO. All I can tell you is this. Does this work 100% of the time? No. But it helps to slow down getting beat deep for 6. As far as the one step ahead, it's decent, but you're still going to get burnt on post routes and certain combination routes. Your guy will be there, but it is what it is. I don't know exactly when they're going to address what's been going on with the zone coverage, but I would just urge you guys to kind of look at different man-to-man coverage with blitzes, because that's what's been working for me. And that's what we're going to have to continue to do. As far as everything else that's going on with the patch, as far as gameplay, there's not a lot of things that there's even, they're talking about authenticity with NFL helmets and Cam Newton's dreadlocks. Like, dude, I don't care about that. My guy in a cover 2, when I put him in a cover 2, right, my safety, I want him to play that corner of the end zone. I don't want him playing an inside third. You know what I'm saying? When I put a guy in an inside third, I want him playing inside third, not an outside quarter. I don't know what's going on, but I will tell you this though. One way or another, they'll probably figure it out. My gut feeling though is that they did not want to put it out because they have the championships on the September 7th and the 8th with the first MCS tournament. It kind of would have changed everything up, so I think they want people to play it the way that it was for the first thing. My prediction is that there'll be a patch shortly after that where it'll affect, the MCS going forward, and then it'll fix it going, along those lines. Other than that, this patch was just, it did some decent things, because now that I can see my icons, I appreciate that. Like, that was just ridiculous, not knowing what you were audibling, what you were quit hiking, the quick adjustments. I'm like, yo, what is this? The Pancake stuff, they kind of toned it down. I didn't like that, because I do believe that if you have all DBs out there, you should get what's coming to you. And, as far as all the other miscellaneous things with the RPO peak, that's all cool and well. But one of the biggest points of the game is zone coverage. And you shouldn't have to sit in cover 4 and play the sticks for the guys to fall straight back. And that's pretty much what it is right now. So if you were looking for something else, it's not here yet. More than likely after the MCS tournament, they'll drop it, and then the zones will be normal. And then, maybe they won't have something else happen. But I wouldn't hold my breath with that. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. Have a great day. One love, y'all.